Hi, my name's Maria Ryan.
I'm Kevin O'Duffy.
My name is George Holan.
I'm Eileen Daly.
And I'm Derek Mooney, and this is Read Right Now. Welcome to the last programme in the current series of Read Right Now, coming to you from the Chester Beatty Library here in Dublin Castle. And as this is the last show, we've decided to do something a little bit different. So today's programme is all about progression, moving onwards and upwards with your learning. Now, I've been told that I have to get up to the roof garden, where some people are getting together because it's the end of the series. To get me up there, I'm going to use some of the learners from earlier in the series. Now we're going to set them some questions. If they answer each one correctly, I'll be able to move up a level until I get to the top. They're going to have to use the reading and writing skills that they've gained throughout the series to find those answers. Now we've divided them into two teams. They'll each have to answer one question each and then work together to complete a short task that I've set them. We'll also have our usual learning points on proofreading, adjectives and sending text messages. Okay, let's meet them now. Now George and Maria are Team A and they're in Dublin. Maria is a childcare worker from Ballivor in County Meath. She returned to learning and has taken courses in literacy, computers and childcare, both in one-to-one and group situations. George works for South Dublin County Council and is a karate instructing, bird breeding father of two. He went back to education through the Return to Learning initiative. Eileen and Kevin are Team B and we've sent them to Cashel. Kevin is an underwater photographer from Shannon Bridge. Having gone back to learning 5 years ago, he now sits on his local literacy committee as well as the NALA National Executive. Our gardening mother of two from County Offaly, Eileen, went back to learning 6 years ago in the Tullamore Adult Literacy Scheme. She's found that learning has given her the confidence to give gardening workshops and communicate with others to an extent she had previously found impossible. Now, as many of this year's learners will tell you, teamwork can make learning much easier. So to start both teams off, we've given each team member part of a map to find their first location. Only by putting both sections together will they reach their destination. Okay, let's see how they're getting on.
Right, we'll open this, see what they give us.
Maria and George have met on the quays in Dublin, but need to read their combined map and find their way to Pearse Street Library, which is only a short walk away.
Okay, let me put these together and see what we come up with.
There you go.
River Liffey, A to B. Oh yeah, they do match, don't they?
Yeah.
There we go, we got it.
There's your River Liffey.
There's the River Liffey there.
Right.
Right. Liberty Hall Bridge there.
There.
Right,
yeah.
we're to go from A to B.
That's that way.
So we're going this way here.
Okay.
Okay,
Right.
let's go over this way. Maria, you hold on to them. Let's go this way. Find this place. You know what it is. Can't be too bad, yeah. Here we are in the bend. Check them up there. This is the road now. There's
there.
B. So that's B over there.
Oh, great.
So we'll head for
Come on,
there.
yeah.
Yeah. Grand. Let's get going.
We sent Kevin and Eileen to Cashel in County Tipperary to the recently developed local library.
Now, we'll open up these and see what...
It's like winning the lotto, Eileen.
see what's in them.
I've
got the map. No.
The big difference between the two teams is that the team in Cashel are only allowed to find information using new methods like the internet, while the Pearse Street team will only be able to access information using traditional methods like searching through books.
Sure, I think we go off this way. Yeah. Okay.
Come on, we'll hit off and see what
Now,
we can find.
see what we can get.
There's the name. Okay, now again.
I've arranged with all of our learners that I'd send them the first text message at 10 a.m. So here goes. And while I'm doing this, you can find out more about text messaging from Terry.
In this week's programme, you'll see Derek sending and receiving information from learners in Pearse Street and Cashel using his mobile phone. Mobile phones are everywhere these days, but they're not just used for talking to people. You can also use them to send messages to your friends. This use is called text messaging. When you're sending a text message, there's a limited amount of space for the message because the screen on the front of a mobile phone is quite small, obviously. So, for this reason, lots of words in text have been abbreviated or shortened. There's a whole population of mobile phone users who have become very familiar with these shortened words. Let's look at some examples. The letters CU are used instead of the words see you. Tonight is used for tonight, and MK means make. When you're writing a text message, lots of words are shortened by using the first and last letters of a word, or only some of the letters in a word. For example, don't is often written as DNT, could is often written as CD, and will as WL. Some words in text messaging use a mixture of words and numbers. These are based on both the sounds of the numbers and the letters. For example, later is written as L8R, late as L8, and before is written as B4. Some letters are used on their own because the name of that letter sounds like a word. Examples are C for C, B for B, R for R, T for T, and U for U. Just as spoken language changes to incorporate new ideas and vocabulary, so text messaging has changed the way many people write. Just be careful, however, when you're deciding when the language of text messaging should be used. Let's see how our Pearse Street team are getting on.
Right.
What time?
Okay, it's 10 o'clock now.
Message, hello. Please find Buke on Chester Beat and text me his name and where he's from and where he was born. So we walk over here, will you check that? Okay.
I was in the doctor's one day and I seen the ad for adult literacy. I spoke to a lady and we discussed the best way for me to go about it. Would it be a group or would it be a one-to-one? And I decided that it would be a one-to-one because I was always embarrassed about the situation. After 2 years with my tutor, she then asked me would I be ready now to move on into a computer course because she knew that I was interested in computers and that I'd love to learn computers. So I went to a group with 6 other learners and learned the computers there, and I've been doing that ever since. We got the VTech for our computer course now, and then from there I've now started doing a childcare course with them. Now I'm able to read stories to my grandchildren and help them with the learning, get involved with what they do in school, and I also worked with children, helping them with the homework also.
As a young lad, I've never done a junior cert or a leaving cert. I left school at 13 years of age. So one of my goals was to aim to do the junior cert, which I have started. And then the other goal is to aim on for my leaving certificate. But also to develop myself because I'm a young man with a young family. I've actually a daughter going on to college now. And I've an 8-year-old daughter. And I also want to be able to help my youngest daughter through her schooling with her sums, her maths, her history, her reading and writing skills. I want to be able to take part in that and enjoy that. But what I also want to do is maybe become a tutor myself, help someone that has probably reading and writing difficulties, to help them along.
You found it?
I have, yeah. This is the Western Collection. Now, the stairs, so we go into the
Introduction.
forward introduction. Right, here we go, yeah. Sir Alfred Chester Beatty, 1875 to 1968. So he was born in New York. And the year he was born, 1875, and died 1968. So we got what we wanted.
Yeah.
So we can text there like that.
Hold
You
that.
hold that. Now we go in and text this man this.
Well done to Maria and George. Chester Beatty was indeed born in America, and in fact, believe it or not, he was Ireland's first honorary citizen. He travelled extensively all over the world and he built up a very impressive art collection, which he then donated to the state before he died in 1968. Now it's housed here in the Chester Beatty Library in Dublin Castle, and anybody can come and visit it anytime free of charge. And because George and Maria got that right, I've made it to the first floor. Now, just as we've gone from quills and ink to printing presses, and finally to computers, so your learning will progress too. You know, when people began to write, paper and ink was scarce and very, very expensive. And needless to say, there was no Tipp-Ex around, so they had to be extremely careful about their writing and double check everything. This is a useful skill to have, and it's called proofreading.
Almost all the writing that we do in our lives involves communicating a written message to another. It may be writing a postcard, a short note, a letter, or even a story. The important thing is that whatever you write can be clearly read and understood. This was especially important when many of the old books in the Chester Beatty Library were being created. Because paper and ink were expensive, it was important to check what was being written before the final draft was created. So it's always a good idea to read back over what you've written and check for mistakes, such as misspelt words, missing full stops, or poor grammar. This type of checking is called proofreading. Nobody gets their writing perfect the first time. Most people have to write at least 2 drafts of, say, a letter before they get it right. And most people have to check or proofread their writing to make sure that there are no mistakes. When you're proofreading your own writing, there are a few things to look out for. When you're writing, it's very easy to leave out smaller words in the sentences. This can happen because your mind may work quicker than your pen. For example, in the sentence, "I really enjoyed reading book." Our minds might expect that every word is there, rather than look carefully at each word. Then we realise that the word "the" is missing from the sentence. The trick with proofreading is to read what's actually on the page, not what you think is there. Another common error is leaving out full stops, commas, or other punctuation marks. For example, look at the following sentence. "I read the newspaper every day now. I really enjoy learning." When you read this, you might see that there should be a full stop between the 2 statements to separate them. Watch out for other punctuation marks, such as remembering to add a question mark when writing a question, or using an apostrophe when writing words like "don't" and "it's." Proofreading is about checking your writing to make it better. So take your time, read slowly, read the same piece several times as you mightn't see the mistakes on your first reading. Learning to proofread your work is an important skill, and like any skill, it takes practice to get better at it.